everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Language Talks. We are in conversation today with a very senior Jordanian language professional, Mr. Firas. Mr. Firas has done his master's from the University of Glasgow in linguistics. He has a postgraduate diploma in English studies and educational methods. He graduated in English language and literature from Yarmouk University, Jordan. Including all his ventures in a single interview is not possible, so I will try and focus on the main aspects. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Very pleasant evening for you and all the followers. And inshallah, we'll try our best to make this very interesting for the people who are interested in languages.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm honored to have a conversation with you. I would like to start by asking you, how did you decide to take up a career in languages, especially English?
Yeah, in fact, at the beginning, I was not planning to go for English studies. I was planning to go for Arabic studies because my father was a very well-known Arabic savant, a person who is very well educated. And also he was the one who put the curriculum for Jordan to teach Arabic language in secondary classes. And our atmosphere, our environment at home was Arabic speaking, standard Arabic speaking. So I developed this competence of speaking Arabic very well. But when I wanted to go to the university, because of the, frankly speaking, traditional and classic methods of teaching Arabic, I prefer to have an idea about the other languages because English always receive a lot of care and always they are updating the methodology of teaching English. So I said to myself, I know Arabic, alhamdulillah, very well, not because I am a native speaker. In Arabic, when you say you are a native speaker, that does not mean anything because the standard Arabic language, yani, sorrowfully, is not spoken well. The standard Arabic language is restricted to certain locales, we say, to certain. So, because I was fluent in Arabic standard language, and I said, let's give myself another chance. So I studied English language and its literature first in Jordan. Then I went to Glasgow University, where I made an MPhil in English and education. And there also, I was introduced to the methodology of teaching English. I studied andragogy and I studied pedagogy and the differences between pedagogy and andragogy and how to teach adults and how to teach the school children. Of course, after that, before going to my MPhil, I was teaching English as a second language, applying all of the methods that I learned well and I admire at that time. Little by little, I started to think to apply this to Arabic language. I'm teaching Arabic language according to the English methodology that I learned. That was very special.
So, for more than three decades, you have been teaching and preparing students for various types of certifications in the English language.
Exactly.
So, what changes have you observed in the student community over this large period?
First of all, I taught English as a second language for long, and I taught the British curricula, and I taught also what we call standard exams, preparing people for standard exams like TOEFL and other things. Then I started thinking of teaching Arabic in the new way in Dubai, according to the communicative functional approach. I made a mix between two approaches. Now we will talk about approaches later. And if you say that I have been teaching since 3 decades, this makes me very old, but this is the truth. This is the truth. I have been teaching English, Arabic, and translating, and I am also a writer in Arabic and English. I also authored many books, especially biographies. And all of these things which are very close to each other.
Sir, as a teacher of literature, how would you highlight the importance of literature while learning a language? I mean, it could be any language.
In fact, this is a very important question. Why? Because of two things. First of all, Arabic is a very high literary language. So please, you can omit this when you make the editing. It's not literal,
Okay.
it's literally. And because of that, you cannot teach Arabic for Arabs avoiding literature, not at all. And
Right.
there is an approach also, which is teaching language through literature. This approach is applicable always to native speakers. Yani when they teach English now, they don't teach English as second speakers. So they teach language, English language for the British, for example, through literature. And the same thing with Arabic. Arabic is highly poetic language. And it is also highly literary language. When you speak ordinary talk, you think that you are saying a poem. This is Arabic. Arabic is very highly musical and rhythmic language. There is this internal rhythm that helps the speaker to acquire language. They get this rhythm, they will get all of the conjugations of Arabic language. It's not like do this, do that. It comes innately, by nature. That is the Arabic literature. So when you teach Arabic for non-native speakers or for non-Arabs, you first start with teaching language through the approaches that I told you about. And when they get advanced, you will go to teach through literature. Literature helps a lot because it has aesthetic values and evaluation of the beauty of the language, which will make a very close relation between the people and between the learners and the language. So they comes their own passion. They like it, and this helps the teacher or the person who's helping the people to acquire language helps him very much. So this is my idea about literature. The same thing for when we study English. I mean, as specialization, because we are not learning English like non-native speakers. We are learning English like native speakers. So there is a very big portion for literature. Don't only study the grammatical theories and the syntax theories. You study a lot of literature, criticism, and the new streams and philosophy sometimes. So this helps a lot in evaluating the language and helps you to bridge the gap between you yourself as a learner and the glory of language.
Nice. Yeah, right.
And you cannot learn Arabic without reading novels, without reading very interesting stories, without reading the most important poems in Arabic. This helps you a lot.
Okay, thank you, sir. So you're designing different syllabi for various students. So what are the key aspects that you have to consider while doing that?
Now, these syllabi and these curricula are different and graded in different ways. So what we used to have in our schools, we used to have before, for example, when I studied English, and when I studied Arabic also, we used to have like grammatical graded books. They are called the grammatical graded books. So the whole issue, the whole idea will be concentrating on the grammatical pattern, which you should perfect. So it is like accuracy rather than fluency, right? But at the same time, you never get accurate and you never get fluent. You see, there are some other books which are vocabs graded. So you say that this is level 6 because it has some advanced vocabulary, and this is level 9 because it has a very advanced vocabulary. So you grade your book according to the words. And there is what we call functions graded books and function graded curricula. And this is what we are looking for. What you would do with the language. Because if you look into language, if you dissect language, you find it but functions, millions of functions. How come we say we invite with language, we apologize with language, we express our love with language, we forgive with language? All of the things that you are looking at are different functions. And this is exactly the ultimate goal of language, is to convey the message, not only conveying the message, and to do something with the message. So when you grade your syllabi according to functions, this means that you are making the language usable, sociable. You create what we call the competence, the social communicative competence, not the linguistic competence. The linguistic competence is there, but you can do nothing without it. Once you are in the street, once you want to use your language, if you are not socially prepared for this, you cannot use your language at all. And this is what happens with most of the English learners who have English as a second language in the Arabic world. I know the Arabic world, I cannot talk about other countries. I can talk about India, because, for example, India, a lot of people have language like their first language, first tongue. Unfortunately, because this should not be the case. But on the other hand, in the Arabic world, now the situation is different because many people are going to English schools. But in the Arabic world, as you can see, most of these schools are teaching students language according to a grammatical pattern graded books. So when they go to the street, nobody will ask them, please report this sentence to me into indirect speech, or please change the sentence into passive voice.
Right.
This does not happen. This is not language.
Right.
In linguistics, we call this descriptivism. This is descriptivism. What we are doing is actually prescriptivism. We give you the prescription. We tell you exactly use this, you will get this. But when I keep saying, for example, this is subject, object, predicate, whatever, so this nothing, no tools, no instruments to use.
Right. So, what challenges do you face while teaching Arabic to the non-Arabic people?
Also, a very good question. Now, what we are having, as I told you, in Arabic is a very special situation. And we call it in linguistics diglossia. Which diglossia? You have a certain variety of language that is used according to certain situations. And another variety, which is the dialect in many countries, that you use in your daily life situation. Arabic is unique in this consensus, due to many historical factors that are related mostly to colonization. It is very political, but we're not going to discuss them now. This situation makes you, when you use your own dialect, like, for example, if you're coming from Lebanon and speaking with somebody coming from Morocco, like a Spanish speaks to Italian. So this is the situation. Dialects are a little bit segregated. Don't think that if you use this dialect, you will be understood everywhere in the Arabic world. This does not happen. Always there are these differences that the people like to look at as minor, but they are not. So you need all of Arabs are willing and having the intention to speak in standard Arabic everywhere. So we don't have the linguistic locale, which is the linguistic community. So Arabic is not used as a daily language, daily life language, not used. What we are teaching the students, we should teach standard Arabic. For one reason, because if I taught him Jordanian Arabic, for example, he will not go and be able to speak to everybody. Second,
Yes.
he will not be able to read correctly. Third, if he listening to the news bulletin, he will not understand. If he going to the mosque or to the church, he will never understand. So he needs standard Arabic, no other solution. But when he gets into the street, unfortunately, in many Arabic world, many Arabic countries, he cannot use it because they are not communicating through standard Arabic. So we need to create this linguistic locale or linguistic community. If we cannot, if we are unable to build it, and inshallah, I'm thinking of building one day, but this is a very big project. If we are not able to build it, we have to make simulation into where, into everywhere. Whether the class, whether we go to with the students to supermarket, to the museum, to the cinema, everywhere. We are bringing our students out and we speak with them to make Arabic function. Right? And this is, by the way, a very big challenge because the English teacher does not have this. The French teacher does not have this. Even I think the Hindu teacher does not have this. Because you learn what you will use in a while.
Yes.
But in Arabic, you learn what you are going to use only in restricted places. That is the issue. And my students now in Dubai, frankly speaking, many of them, when they learn with me, they go in the weekend to some Arabic countries where English is not spoken.
Oh, okay.
To force themselves to communicate through Arabic, no matter what is the dialect, because dialects have something in common. Yani. This will help.
Right. That helps them to grow their language.
Of course.
Practice the language. Right.
Of course.
Wonderful. Sir, now about your career. So you are translating so many documents in various domains, technical and literature also.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I wanted to ask you, how do you maintain accuracy in while translating such documents?
Now, one very insisting question today is how to keep translation human. Maybe I am the first man who is talking about the human translation. Because now when somebody is asking for a certain job or task, I say we provide human translation. In Arabic, we say ترجمة بشرية. And this sounds odd. I was unable to use this word like 2 or 3 bags.
Right.
Yeah. But now, with all of these means around, like AI and other things, now people think that the translator has to resign and he has no space in this universe. And they are wrong. When I give sometimes lectures, I go into all of these sites for the artificial intelligence and I give them examples. I say, for example, take this example. Let's see the translation of such and such. So we go into these sites and we will show them this is the first round, this is the second round, this is because you know this AI gives you more than one chance to change. If you don't like the first translation, you go into the second round. So I show them many places. I say, look, if I want to translate this into English, or if I want to translate this into Arabic, it will be like this. And they see the very big difference. Why? Because there is no enough data nowadays for these engines to give the right translation. What they are doing, they like to collect the data that you would collect in 10 days or more, they collect it in 2 seconds and they put it in front of you. But if you don't have it, you have gaps. How would you replace for this? You cannot.
Correct.
So for me, a translation, I'm not talking about all kind of translation. There are many different areas which are general that can get the help of the machine-aided translation.
Okay.
But there are some kinds, some special, let's say, genre or genres in 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 any language which are like impossible to be translated by the artificial intelligence. And because of that, here comes the word human. Still, we need the human translation very much. And the translator who would provide the translation for a poem or for a novel or for any literary piece or for philosophy or for criticism, and sometimes for business, sometimes for management, should be very, very well educated in both languages. Very, very well, and should be able sometimes to create his own word. So what we are doing sometimes, not the translation, but Arabization. There is a very big difference. So you Arabize, which means you create a new expression in Arabic. For example, if I give you the idioms in English or in any language, sometimes you cannot find the right meaning. And if you go for the idiom word by word, you will make a catastrophe. It's raining dogs and cats. How you would translate this in Arabic? Many other examples. So you cannot go for word by word because we call these fossil expression, frozen. And you cannot go into the informants of this expression word by word and translate them to get the outcome, to get the whole meaning. This will not work. So you should be able to think. If you are educated enough, you can find an equivalent expression in your own language. If there is no equivalent expression, you should be able to create another one which is understood for the people.
So a kind of transcreation.
Yeah, it is a transcreation, exactly. I avoid use this word because this word has no Arabized system. Always, when we say transcreation, I need to say in Arabic transcreation because we don't have a word, one word that stands for transcreation in Arabic.
I see.
But it is exactly transcreation.
Okay, sir. So now about your interpretation assignments. So can you walk us through the process? How do you prepare yourself for that?
Interpretation is a very hideous process. I started doing interpretation for some time because I had courses in UK, but after that I stopped. Why? Because when you reach a certain age, your short-term memory is not going to be very active like before.
So you manage cultural and publishing projects at Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Foundation, Dubai.
Yes.
So can you tell us more, sir?
We were handling many projects. One of them was called Turjuman, and it used to train translators through universities. So we get the translators themselves and we develop their skills in courses. And there was an assignment, which is to translate a novel or novella at the end of the course. Also, we were monitoring the translation, which is done by publishers, because this MBRF, which is called MBRF, used also to publish many books translated from English. So we were monitoring the translation process done by these people. And we were also participating in choosing books for publishing and for translation. Okay. And there was also another program which is called Terjem, and Terjem also related to publishing. We were publishing books, not necessarily from Arabic and English. There were many other languages. We see what are the books which are needed in Dubai and in the UAE and the Arabic world, and we recommend some for them to be translated. These were the
Okay.
major roles.
Okay. Nice. You have supervised the editing and translation team at the executive office of the Dubai ruler. So, how
Yeah.
was that experience?
We were, in fact, working on his site, his Sheikh
Mhm.
Mohammed, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed website,
Mhm.
or Sheikh
Mhm.
Mohammed's website. And,
Mhm.
and I was the head of the translation and editing department of the news, which go into many languages. In my section, there were more than 10 languages we were translating. Of course, I
Oh.
don't know 10 languages, but I was supervising all translators. There were always one native translator at least, native. And for example, when we translate into Japanese, there was a Japanese person, a Japanese translator who is native
Okay.
Japanese who can translate into Arabic. And there was
Mhm.
another person with him, an Arab who
Mhm.
knows Japanese. So
Mhm.
every piece of news is translated and edited by native speakers before
Okay.
sending it onto online. Also,
Mhm.
a very good important work was translating His Highness's poems,
Oh.
Sha'ar al-Nabati,
Oh. Okay.
vernacular poetry, vernacular poetry. We
Oh.
translated at that time more than 60 poems, which were sent on his website. Of course, at that time, in many languages. Now, I think they are only English and Arabic languages. But at that time, we were translating into many languages. And I was
Mhm.
supervising and participating in the whole process of this.
Okay.
We also
Okay.
translated the critical studies of his poetry, His Highness's
Oh.
poetry. And
Okay.
we translated also many articles and many like books about Dubai and about UAE.
Mhm.
And we also published them online. So it was
Okay.
very active work in many,
Right.
many texts which were translated into many languages. And I
Mhm.
benefited much from like 6 or 7 years
Mhm.
that I worked on his website. I benefited a lot, especially
Mhm.
because I was always working with native speakers. When we want to
Mhm.
translate, for example, a poem into English, we do it together.
Mhm.
The
Oh.
Arabs and the British, the Arabs and the Canadian, the Arabs and the
Okay.
American. Always we have editors from different countries who are native speakers who helped us, or
Mhm.
of course, who also taught us a lot. Not in Arabic, of course, but in English.
Mhm. Right, right. So that native flavor is so important for the
Yes, it is
language.
there. Yes, exactly.
You're currently directing the media, publishing, and cultural projects at Scriptor in the capacity of the
Yeah,
managing director.
Scriptor is my office. Scriptor
Uh-huh.
translation services in Dubai. We are
Okay.
making training. We are
Mhm.
translating for many languages because, of course, many people are working with me. I don't
Mhm.
translate myself to all languages, but I have very good translators in French, in
Nice.
German, in Farsi, in even Hindu, even many. We have a lot, because being in Dubai gives you a chance to translate, and gives you, in fact, gives you a chance in everything. Among them
Right.
is the translation. So we
Mhm.
are providing this very wide spectrum of
Great.
languages, and we are training, and also we are, one of the most important things is to train on Arabic and help the people acquire Arabic. Now we are establishing a Scriptor
Mhm.
Academy online to teach
Mhm.
for any person around the world.
That's amazing. So
Yes.
you're writing for magazines. So which topics do you like to write?
I write poetry in Arabic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I published like 5 books in
Mhm.
biography. The fifth is now, I'm working on it on now, biography
Okay.
for
Mhm.
people. And I worked also, I'm still working as a ghostwriter for many
Oh,
people.
oh, okay.
Yeah, for many
Mhm.
people who want to write about themselves. I write
Mhm.
in Arabic and I write in English, and I don't translate. When, for example, somebody want to write his life or about his life,
Mhm.
I write in
Okay.
Arabic. Street
Mhm.
write it. I write another book maybe equivalent to the Arabic, but it is not a mere translation of it. The same thing. When I write in Arabic, it has very, very, very thin connection with the original one in Arabic language. And it is also published in the language that it is written in. And I translate books, novels, stories. Some of them were published, alhamdulillah. And in varieties of things.
So many things, yes.
I would like to speak in details about my communicative approach of teaching.
Sure, sir. Yes.
How about
Please
that?
do.
Now
Please
you
do.
know what we are building when we are teaching. We try as much as we can to create simulated situations. And when we say situations in language, situation in language means a lot of other things, because a situation has major components, right? So first of all, when you have any linguistic action or any speech action particularly, you have first of all the place. Always the place is very important, because the place prescribes to the learner. When you are, for example, in the church, it is very different from being in the playground or in the hospital or in the lift.
Yes.
So this place has great influence on the discussion. So this is the first component of the situation. The second one is the psychological role.
Okay.
Before the psychological role, you have the social role. You are in the lift, mother and her daughter, two friends, boss and employee, right? For example, doctor and nurse. Two footballers. So this social role also prescribes a lot for the English learner, right?
Yes.
Then comes the psychological role.
Okay.
A mother with her son. What is the relation? What is the nature of talk? Is she angry of him because he's not doing his homework? Okay. Is she giving him an advice, recommendations? Is she very polite with him and she likes him to smile? She's telling him nice stories? And what is his psychological role towards her? Is he loyal, obedient, or he refuses what is she saying? So imagine the same thing between two friends. Are they too friendly, or is he blaming him or complaining about something? So this psychological role plays a very big influence on language. Yani prescribe. We say in linguistic, prescribe a lot for the learner. And the last thing in the whole situation is the subject matter. Is the daughter and the mother talking about a party? And if they are talking about the party, what exactly they are talking about the party? The two friends can be speaking about the party. The doctor and the nurse can be speaking about the party. So this subject matter is there. This is the situation that we should consider when we communicate any sentence. Any sentence. That's why in England now, when they taught us how to teach English as a second language, they say polite request, not only request, polite request. So you have to know what is the psychological role of this sentence. Okay, asking for a permission politely. So it's a change. But after this situation was built and the conversation is made successfully, what else? Here comes the function. which is what we do after all of these components. What we do, يعني, if we are talking about, for example, two friends talking about the party friendly in the left, is he going to invite him to a party? Is he going to apologize for him that he cannot come to the party? Are they talking about a party that happened yesterday and they are giving their comments? Everyone is different function. So this is exactly the methodology that we use, and we think a lot when we give handouts. I don't have now a written book because I don't want to publish it. If I publish it, they will just copy it and start using it. So I'm giving handout every time, taking into consideration all of these issues that I told you about. There is also a notion, where what we say notion, but we're not going to talk about it because explaining will take a lot of time. But I mean, why it is communicative? Why? Because of the social competence. And why it is functional? Because of the functions that we are after. And when the people start to produce language, they will speak fluently, and fluency will bring accuracy. But accuracy will never bring itself, neither it will bring fluency. This is the whole principle of the communicative approach of teaching. And we avoid teaching structure and grammar overtly. We teach it, but we teach it covertly. We teach it in an embedded way. يعني, instead of telling somebody, for example, change the sentence into passive voice, I will say for him, where is your telephone, for example? And he will say, my telephone is lost. If he said, my telephone is lost, he is producing passive voice sentences. As an educator, I will trace him. I will know now he can make the simple present passive voice. Then if he makes the future passive voice, I will know that, and I go to another step without giving him any description that will destroy the whole idea. This is it. And of course, when you ask me about challenges, these are the greatest challenges. Very big challenges for you to prepare your lesson. A long time you spend before teaching any hour, which is different from the old school. You write at the board the rule, and you start giving some examples. You don't even need to prepare. If you are teaching this syllabus for 10 years, خلاص. It's like your repertoire. You know it, you don't need to prepare, خلاص. And you are not for the students, whether they know or they don't.
Sir, I wanted to request you to read out any poetry of yours in Arabic and tell us the meaning in English, if you don't mind.
I will try, but I am not sure whether this will work. And it is not translatable. يعني, it is very, very difficult to translate. It needs day, but I will try to read for you something. Now, this is about coffee, writing about coffee.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
اسكب لوعة الشمس في فجر الاستدارة، وارتشف من عين بن حمئ بعض جمره وبعض لذة المرارة، وانحني لتأهب الرؤية في فضاء غره اكتمالا، فاستباح نشوة النور زهوا واستبد انثيالا، فالرؤية ترتد لبصيرة لهب مبتهل مع لوعات القهوة ورعشات الرغوة تسبح احتفالا، كلما ارتشفت ارتقيت واغتلت في روحك البشارة، ثم همست بين يديك جنية القهوة، لبيك هئت لك فاحتس اغتيالا، كحلية العينين ممشوقة الفنجان معتقة اللمى كلما كشفت منها رشفة زادك الفنجان اشتعالا.
Okay. It's a
The
very
whole
poetic
poem is
language.
talking about like thoughts related to contemplation into coffee, meditation into coffee. This is the thing that
Oh,
I can say.
quite deep.
Looking at the coffee, reading things, seeing a lot of images, bringing a lot of ideas like this.
Nice.
But
Thank
even
you,
if I
sir.
want to translate this, it takes a lot of time to produce a poem in English. Because you know,
Okay.
poetry in Arabic language is still
Mhm.
in another stage of, yani it's very high language,
Mhm.
high vocabulary, and it still has rhythm and rhymes. This is Arabic language, very musical. Tell my learners, please follow the music. Please follow the music of Arabic. If you do this, you will grasp Arabic and master it in a very short time.
Thank you so much for reciting it, sir. In addition to Arabic and English, which other languages do you like?
Very good question also. I learned in Jordan and in Dubai and in UK. I learned
Oh,
French,
mm,
and
okay.
I learned also German in Jordan
Mm,
and in Dubai, German.
mm,
But
okay.
I have very few things from these languages. Why?
Okay.
First, I learned them structurally.
Mm,
I don't know now, maybe they are teaching functionally, of course. But at that time, I learned structurally. And you know, these two languages are highly conjugational, very
yes.
high conjugation, yani there are many conjugations in both of
Many.
them. So without the language usage, you will be lost and you will lose everything.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't have also the language community. If I have the language community, or if I had that language community, I would have grasped a lot. But so
We have to practice it.
I almost forgot everything. And even
Okay,
your
sir.
native tongue, if you are far from it and you don't use it, and you don't have the language community around you, you will not be a very good communicator in this land. I don't say that you will forget it. You will not forget it because this is mother tongue. But you will not be able to express your thoughts properly, the way that you used to do.
Correct. We have to keep using the language, whichever we have learned.
Language into usage. If it is not into usage, it will die out.
It will die. Great. This was a great conversation, sir. And I am really honored and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much. Hoping you all the
And
best for you and for your program. And inshallah,
thank you.
in the future, you will have many other ideas and many other programs. We don't know about language. I am very happy that somebody is having something only to serve language. A podcast that saves language. It's excellent idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me in conversation with Mr. Firas. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. See you in the next episode with a new guest who will talk about his passion for languages. Till then, keep watching Language Talks, share it with your friends and family. Have a good day. Bye bye.